Welcome back to my gene pool series. I'm on Genesis 2. It's called The Rib, the Root, the Revelation. Subtitle, if I can get to the root of where I'm getting my life wrong, then I'll know where my demons hide. Okay. That's where this conversation with God started, actually. I asked him about doing a new thing in the earth, and what he showed me took me deeper than I expected. All the way back to Eden, like all the way back to the real, where it all flows from. Genesis 2 talks about a river flowing from Eden, then separating into 4 headwaters. As I read this, it instantly reminded me of the human heart. How it has 4 chambers, 4 valves, separated yet working together to keep life moving forward. Each valve opens and closes in rhythm to keep blood from flowing backwards. If one valve malfunctions, the flow reverses. A storm brews in the body. That had me thinking, when God caused the flood in Noah's time, what if he simply closed the valves of the earth? Just like the body, the earth reacted to dysfunction. What was once flowing orderly overflowed chaotically. The same principle applies. What you were meant to contain can drown you if the alignment is off. That brings me back to the rib. But which rib did you take, Lord? Everyone assumes God took a rib from Adam's side, but something didn't sit right with me. So I asked, what rib, Lord? And he dropped it in my spirit, the C rib. I looked it up. Cervical rib. It's an extra rib that grows out of the neck connected to the cervical spine. Not everyone has one. It's considered a congenital abnormality. But that part, present at birth, stopped me because Adam was the first birth. He was formed with the end already in mind. God knew the rib he would take. It wasn't random, it was intentional. And here's the wild part. My daughter was born with an extra finger, a generational trait. The doctor said it didn't have a bone, so it lacked oxygen and died off. That resonated with this whole rib revelation. Cervical rib facts, what they reveal spiritually to me. It can be just a strand of tissue or a fully formed bone. It often connects to C7, the lowest neck vertebrae, the root of control, movement, and communication between brain and body. When misaligned, it can compress nerves, especially C8 and T1, and affect the arms and the hands and the shoulders, areas of grasping, holding, and reaching. That's when God showed me. Adam's labor may have caused wear and tear. Physical and spiritual symptoms that hinted at imbalance or strain. Even before the fall, movement carried meaning. And guess what? The nerve it often compresses, which is the brachial plexus, is responsible for the function of gripping, holding, and moving forward. Sound familiar? Because when sin entered, mankind lost its grip. We couldn't hold on to God's presence the same way. Our function was disrupted. And when I asked, how is a cervical rib removed? The answer was surgically. A cutting away, flesh divided, painful healing, recovery. Just like Genesis chapter 2, verse 21, God put Adam to sleep, removed the rib, and closed the place with flesh. That's symbolic of the transfer of pain, imperfection, and identity. He bridged the gap with flesh. He knew we would one day need a second Adam to close the ultimate gap again. Jesus, the true rib restorer. What if the rib wasn't just a bone, but tissue? And what if the tissue carried not just structure, but DNA, emotion, flaws, potential, sinful nature? God used the tissue of Adam to craft Eve. And when Adam saw her, he said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." Genesis 2, verse 23. He recognized her because she was him, a reflection, a root. And that's when I looked up the meaning of women. And what came up? Woe man. Woe as in grief, distress, or pain. Like when we say woe is me, it speaks to the emotional burden of human experience. Like when we say pain in my neck, literally. Another take, W/O, man, equals without man, directly connecting Genesis chapter 2, verse 22, when God separated her from him. The first split, and yet they were both naked and unashamed, because God clothed them in spiritual garments. Before fig leaves, before hiding, they were covered in his glory. Isaiah 61 verse 10 calls it a garment of salvation and a robe of righteousness. Genesis chapter 2 verse 25 says no shame, no fear, full presence. My closing statement is God is intentional always. Nothing new is under the sun. Even your abnormalities might be divine architecture. What feels flawed may actually be foundational. Adam's rib, possibly a weakness, a flaw, a generational indicator, and God used it to create something beautiful, purposeful, and prophetic. So the question remains, what's flowing from your eating? Are the rivers aligned? Is your rib a remnant of your root, being healed or hiding a history? God can use even your abnormalities. Your root might be the very thing he's trying to reveal, to restore the flow. A long farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now until